All right, welcome back to KM6LYW Radio, the show about amateur radio or ham radio, reimagining radio in the information age. Hey, today we have a new radio interface device. It is the USB radio interface. This is model 101. No, it's not just for All-Star. Let's check it out. This time on KM6LYW Radio. Yeah, there it goes. All right, welcome back. Yeah, that's the bumper music. At least it's free. So I'd like to thank AllScan for sending me this URI 101 device. I got a bunch of different devices, and initially I think it was generally for All-Star, because all you need is audio in, audio out, ground, and a push-to-talk switch, right? And then All-Star will work. But it doesn't mean you can't use this with data modes too. Hook it up to a Raspberry Pi, do APRS, WinLink, email, packet radio, even FT8 and stuff. This is kind of set up for a VHF dual band rig. You can see I've got it plugged into a Baofeng here using the K connector. So that's the dual pin. He's got pins on the output. On the back of this device, you can see right here the K1, TX, and RX, and there's a ground, and there's a USB port. And that USB port, USB-C, hooks up to a Raspberry Pi or PC. As you can see here, we've got it hooked up to a Raspberry Pi 5, which is running the DigiPi SD card image software, which you can get at digipi.org, and it goes to patrons of the channel. This is kind of like your homework or your lab, for KM6LYW radio, because we do data modes here. And DigiPi, the SD card image, really makes it easy for APRS, WinLink, packet, even FT8, all of that. The DigiPi SD card image, making amateur radio data modes accessible. So when you first boot your DigiPi, you're going to see this screen. It becomes a hotspot, or you can put it on your home network, and you come down here to the initialize link. And down at the bottom here, you're going to see a radio interface. Now, older versions of DigiPi, I want you to select CM108, C Media 108. That's what that stands for. Newer versions, we're going to actually see the AllScan URI device. You just go ahead and select that when you initialize your DigiPi, and it becomes yours, and it gets your call sign, and it just starts working, guys. You don't need a Linux command line to get this going. This is think of this as an appliance. So right now, it's doing APRS duty. There's things like, okay, great. Now what do? We can actually do messaging, right? People think radio is just for talking on. It's kind of like ham radio. If you were to get like a cell phone or a mobile phone and just use it for talking, no, radios can move data just like your phone can. So we can do cool stuff like web chat, and we go over here at APRS web chat, and we can send messages to other radios here. This is all wirelessly, right? I could have no internet, no power here, no problem. This would continue to work. I can send a message to the International Space Station of, hey there. It's actually call signs ISS. And we'll set a path of wide one. We can send that. And you can see it's transmitting. I actually disabled this radio over here because it's going nuts. And we can see the green light actually comes on here when we're transmitting. That was my only, there it goes, it was just transmitted. That was my only complaint. Transmit should be red, guys. AllScan was saying, well, red usually means like error, right? Well, I don't know. I would prefer this to be a red LED, but that's just me. And of course, you can see my hey there went out, no problem, over the APRS network. I got a thumbs up showing the acknowledgement, and I got a reply, and that means I got acquisition of signal in 1 hour and 23 minutes. I guess that means we're not going to do an ISS demo today, but that's okay. We'll do that another day. There's other practical uses too. Like if you wanted to send a message to a cell phone, you can send it's call sign called SMS, and you can put in any phone number you want. But I've got an alias for my phone. Say this is RF2 cell, and I can send that. Now let's watch the Raspberry Pi and the URI go. Here it goes. Transmit. And we got a reception pack. We've got digipeters going nuts. We've got a thumbs up here, meaning that the message was sent. And my phone is going nuts. And here is the message that we just got. Can you read that? Here's the test. And we can actually reply, and it'll come back over amateur radio. So all of this was done with I guess it's $16 now, this Baofeng. It's amazing. The Raspberry Pi, you can actually get a Raspberry Pi for $18. You don't need to use a big one. And this Raspberry Pi here is like $80. That's a Pi 5. Totally overkill, but totally cool because you get the big screen on it. And then, of course, the URI 101 you get from AllScan. We've got it out here, the URI 101. This is allscan.info. projects. Okay, get the URI 101, at least if you're using a Baofeng. $69, can't beat that. Just the case is worth that to me. It's just so cool looking. And he's got other models out here too with different types of interfaces. Here we've got the DIN 6 interface, USB. So you can hook it up to a variety of different radios. On the inside, the guts are accessible. You know, it's almost as if this is like open hardware. You know, you look at here, you can see how this thing is built. You see the CM108 chip. We actually see the push to talk pin right there. It has a built-in GPIO pin. So really simple. I don't know, not simple, but accessible, right? This is open standard hardware. So these are all the different URI models from allscan.info. So thanks, guys, for giving out another easy to use radio interface adapter. One other thing I wanted to put in the notes, at least, is it's really sensitive. So make sure when you're using a Baofeng or something to just turn the volume up maybe 10%, and that's going to get you into the ballpark. In fact, when you go to DigiPi, you can click on packet log here. You can actually see the received volumes, and actually, yeah, it's way up here. It's up at 123. I think I need to turn on the volume a little bit. It's way up there. But yeah, DigiPi is going to tell you how to calibrate your volumes and all that. So digipi.org. All right. Hey, thank you so much for hanging out with me and checking out this radio interface adapter. If you guys want to get it from AllScan. Make sure I get the URL right here. AllScan.info. Okay. And if you want to get this Raspberry Pi setup going, go out to digipi.org. It goes to patrons of the channel, patreon.com/KM6LYW radio. All of these people have the DigiPi because it's available to them. So that means they're all in data modes. That means there's a lot of people out there transmitting digitally, either using texting, like I just said, or it could be they're using this for WSJTX, slow scan television, FL Digi, which has a whole bunch of modes, all kinds of packet modes. JS8 call you're familiar with. And of course, you can send and receive email over ham radio. A lot of people don't know that. It's available via WinLink. So you can either be a WinLink client or WinLink server. All the APRS packet radio modes you can think of, like a GPS tracker, maybe you want to be a digipeater. Maybe you can do APRS on HF. Did you guys know that? It's on a 10.1476 on 30 meters. Pretty cool. And do APRS packet radio intercontinentally. The other one that I've kind of been into lately is the AX.25 networking. In at least in Northern California, we've got a really robust packet radio network here. And so you can just start your own node. It has a bulletin board built into it. It got some video games loaded on there. It has NetROM on top of that, so all of the routing happens naturally. So this is DigiPi, guys, and it drives the new AllScan URI 101. This just took me a few minutes to hook up, guys. It's really simple to cable. You notice he even includes the ferrite beads, which I need to remind everyone, use ferrite beads on every cable because, you know, if RF gets into the Raspberry Pi, you're going to have a bad time. You know, well, it doesn't hurt. It just kind of locks up and gives you lots of errors. So URI 101 with DigiPi and just coincidentally a Baofeng radio. A Baofeng, maybe not the best choice, but it is the cheapest choice. We are getting stations through a coax cable here that's actually hooked up to a Diamond X200 on the roof. So I'm just maximum gain here trying to get this Baofeng to receive stuff. You can hook it up to any radio you want. You know, for production stuff, I like to use like the Yaesu 2980. I know they don't make it anymore, but it's like an 80-watt rig. I wouldn't run it at 80 watts, but it's only like $150 used, and it hooks right up to the DigiPi. In fact, if you can make the cables for this or get a different URI device and maybe make a DIN 6 connector for it, man, you've got a awesome packet radio station. Hey guys, thanks for hanging out with me. My name is Craig, amateur radio call sign KM6LYW. I'm in California and I'm clear.